Hey there, I'm Aino, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to provide certificates for your students in your course. So, the first thing you need to do when you want to provide certificates is go to Edit Board and ensure that you have this Track Learner Progress in place. Make sure that you have ticked this box here. The reason for that is that if you don't have this in place, you will not be able to see this track tab where all of this magic will happen. If you have your tracking in place, the next thing you want to make sure that you have is grading settings. So when it comes to certificates in Clannad, there has to be some sort of threshold, some sort of minimum requirement that the learner has to get past so that they are able to get their certificate. I have another video on grading settings. If you haven't put your grading settings in yet, please do that before continuing watching this video. But in my case, I have a Clannad user training course, and I have put my grading settings, which I can see from here. I have some assessments and I have some progress here. And I actually also have some learners. Some have started already. One learner has already passed the course. But at this point, I decided I want to give them some certificates. So let's see how that works. So the next thing you want to do is find from these three dots where you put your grading settings, click on the certificate settings. Once you click on that, you want to click on Provide Course Certificates. Now there's a few technical things that you need to remember about certificates. The number one thing is that certificates are created from a template that you will upload into Clannad. The file format has to be a Word document because in that way Clannad is able to read through the file, the Word file, and find if you have these available placeholders in. So what you can do in your certificate is that you can put these different placeholders there. Learner name, of course, when the learner would get the certificate, it will be replaced with their actual name retrieved from the database. Also, the pass date is also retrieved from the database and so on, board name and board grade. So the next step after this is to either upload your template that you already have, or let's take a look at this example template. So here I'm back with a different view. So the first thing we want to look at is download example template. So I will click on this and open certificate template. So this is the example template that you are freely to use if you want. If you would use this, it would just be quite basic. It would say, this certifies that, in my case, Aino Seitama has completed the board Clannad user training online course on a date and with a grade pass. So if you want, you're free to use this one. Or if you want to continue watching the video, I will show you how to upload an existing template. So here I will open my template. This template has been made with Canva, which is a very easy tool, and they have a lot of nice looking templates that you can use. The only thing you need to remember about this is that when you put the template into Clannad, it has to be in the Word document format, so it cannot be a PDF, for example. But here you can say this looks a little bit different. It says certificate of completion. It has the placeholder learner name. This is where the learner's name will go. Has passed, board name with Clannad. Clannad logo is there, and what is the date. So what you can do is you can decide which placeholders you want to use. So in this example template, we are using all of the different placeholders that are available. But in my case, actually, when I'm looking at my own example, instead of grade, I've just written here has passed because I have a grading scheme of pass fail. Of course, if you would have a scale-based grading, you would of course want to have the learner's grade there. So that could be from 1 to 5 or A to F and so on. Now, so I have here board name. So this is important to remember that you can see here that my board name is 1.clannadr user training online course. Okay, that is a quite long name, and it might look a bit funny when it goes here. So actually what I want to do in this case, I just want to change this, make my life easier and more simple. I'm just going to write it here, has passed user training with Planet, and then there's the pass date. So sometimes, you don't have to use all the placeholders. You can just use learner name and fill in all the other information, and just the pass date, whichever you decide what you prefer. But okay, I will go ahead and save this. And let's go back here, open the certificate settings. So the next thing I want to do is upload my template. Now my certificate has been uploaded. What I always suggest you do is always download the preview, because if there's something wrong with the placeholders, let's say there is accidentally a gap here that I don't notice, then it wouldn't work, because the placeholder is kind of like a code for our database to retrieve the right information. If the code is not correct, then there's something wrong and it doesn't work. So always download the preview. And I have a preview certificate here. You can see it has replaced learner name with Aina Seitamaa, which is the account that I'm using right now. Has passed user training with date, pass date. So everything looks like it's in place. Basically, this is everything there is to certificates. It is pretty simple, only a few technical things you have to keep in mind. And the last thing to do here is to just click on save. So here I can see one learner has completed the required activities to earn a certificate. If I'm happy with the way my board is now set up, this is sort of like final decision for me to change anything if I have to. But if I'm happy, I can just click here on send certificates. And certificates are sent to learners now. And my student will be able to find their certificates from the certificates here. And also they will get a copy into their email. If I, for some reason, want to download the certificate and maybe print it out or something, I'm able to do that from here as well. So thanks for watching and enjoy.